Thank you. One of the issues that hasn't been talked about, but maybe a side issue, is the civil rights of clergy. And I just wonder if anyone on the panel would like to comment on what may or may not be progressing in that direction.
Could you say what you mean by civil rights of clergy? I'm not quite sure.
Credible accusation is sufficient for punitive action.
Go ahead.
I think this is a case where the upsides of the Dallas Charter, which have, I think, contributed to a decrease in sort of the tolerance of clerical sexual abuse. The downside is that I think the bishops in some ways have, I don't want to say have thrown their priests overboard, but they've set up a very difficult relationship. And because bishops failed to act earlier, they lost what I think is a rightful discretion in dealing with different cases. Now, every bishop is going to say, I'm going to report this right away under any circumstances. In the one sense, you can say, well, if it's not a credible accusation, then it will be, shown to be so. But there are priests who are in limbo, and there are priests who can't get their good reputation back, and they have no way of protecting themselves. And they can be put out of their rectories. They have to bear a real cross with that. I don't know the solution to that other than to say that it's a very real fear for priests. All it takes is one accusation and everything can spin out of control. And I think this is a further damage of the bishop's failure to act earlier because they used their discretion wrongly in the past, not all, but some or many. And now they've lost that ability to use discretion. First, I think lay people suffered because of that, and then now I think a number of priests suffer because of that. I know Cardinal Dulles was a strong proponent of raising this issue about the rights of priests. Beyond that, canonically, I have no confidence, but it's an ongoing cross, I know, for many priests.
Can I add something? So the civil rights issue comes up also. We have this phenomenon of attorneys general of various states sort of targeting the church in particular, choosing not to necessarily look at other institutions. This is partly the issue, right, you're raising. And that's a serious issue, and I think it should give most Catholics pause to some degree, even if they feel like at this point we don't necessarily have options outside of that in some ways, as long as the leadership of the church continues to delay. To me, this question that I think the civil rights of priests is genuinely something potentially in danger in certain states, I don't know, I'm not an expert on the legal aspect, just underscores the need for the bishops to respond more and allow the laity to help, because I would much rather see internal ecclesial mechanisms of lay investigation and ability to kind of address this problem before referring all accused priests immediately to the secular arm that is obviously no longer Catholic in most places. So I think it's a serious problem, and it makes the need for sort of lay co-responsibility all the more urgent, in my opinion. That's all I would say to that. So.